My pick for game changer this year is Miles Scott of Bat Kid fame in San Francisco. Here's a 5-year-old who recovered from leukemia, got a wish from Make-A-Wish Foundation. He wanted to become a superhero, and when the country is in dire need of superheroes, we found one in a 5-year-old and drew the attention of the country.
This morning we are looking back at the game changers of 2013. The next, a Pakistani teenager who cheated death to become an inspiring global star. Malala Yousafza refused to back down to threats from the Taliban. They shot her in the head, but she refused to die, and this year became the youngest person ever nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. ABC's Bob Woodruff has her amazing story still in its first chapter.
We first met 15-year-old Malala Yousafza in Birmingham, England, just 3 months after the Taliban tried to kill her. She had returned home from the hospital between surgeries and spoke to ABC News for the first time since the attack.
Dear Malala, I heard what happened to you on October 9.
Her home was filled with letters and presents from around the world.
You must have a lot of people that you want to thank. What would you say to them?
Today you can see that I'm alive. I can speak. I can see you. I can see everyone. And I'm getting better day by day.
It was a miracle she had survived at all. Shot in the head at point-blank range, this little girl from the Swat Valley of Pakistan was not only fighting for her life, she was fighting for the right of all girls to go to school.
Malala Yousafza was attacked and shot by extremists who don't want girls to have an education and don't want girls to speak for themselves.
I have the right of education. I have the right to play. I have the right to speak up.
Malala was speaking up because the Taliban was bombing schools, threatening teachers, and ordering girls to stay at home.
Swat Valley! Zindabad! Swat Valley! Zindabad!
She was even featured in this documentary by the New York Times.
They cannot stop me. I will get my education if it is in home, school, or any place.
I want to become a doctor.
Her father, Ziauddin, an activist and school teacher, was targeted for death. Soon his only daughter would be too. She doesn't remember the man with a gun boarding her school bus, but she described what her friend sitting next to her told her in this interview with Diane Sawyer.
He said, you were just holding my hand and you just squeezed my hand like you were just forcing it, and you said nothing. And she said, like, you just looked at the man like this. And then she said, like, then he fired three bullets, and one hit you on the left side of my head, and it hit me like this. So I hid my face because there was gunpowder on my fingers.
The alleged shooter, Ataullah, was never arrested. As word spread that Malala was alive, her survival became the ultimate defiance.
Malala has become a hero. She has now triggered a huge movement around the world. She gets letters from children.
Malala is incredible.
They have made videos for her. Did you ever imagine there would be this kind of reaction to what happened to her?
I think Malala is an inspiration for the children all over the world. Every girl is like Malala Yousafza.
But not every girl would risk her life to take on the extremists who tried to kill her.
I was with her only a couple of days after the incident, and I asked her, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to continue doing the work that I'm doing. And I said, sweetheart, you need to rest right now. And she said, but I'm okay, and I'm going to be okay. And there's many, many more people that I need to help.
She could have disappeared. She could have silenced herself. This is pretty courageous of her to do this kind of work.
She will not back down until she thinks every child has the right to go to school.
I'm here to speak up for the right of education of every child.
So on her 16th birthday, the bravest girl in the world took to the stage at the United Nations, an emotional moment for her proud parents.
They thought that the bullet would silence us, but they failed. The terrorists thought that they would change my aims and stop my ambitions, but nothing changed in my life except this. Weakness, fear, and hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage was born.
The little girl from Swat had become a symbol for a cause much larger than herself.
Her life is a miracle. Her standing up again with her full stature is a miracle. And the way she spoke, I think it was amazing. And now, I'm not the only person who own her as a daughter. She's owned by everybody.
She's the daughter of the world.
She's the daughter of the world. That she wants education for everybody, especially for the daughters and sons of Taliban.
But on the one-year anniversary of Malala's attack, the Taliban said they would target her again.
I think life is always dangerous. Some people get afraid of it, some people don't go forward. And now I know that you must not be afraid of death, and you must move forward.
To move forward, she has created the Malala Fund to raise awareness and money for the 32 million girls around the world who can't go to school. Her first grant, sending 40 young girls working in domestic labor in the Swat Valley to school full-time.
Let us turn the education of 40 girls into 40 million girls.
Many of the world's loudest voices are speaking out to support her cause.
They shot her at point-blank range in the head and made her stronger.
Malala, who dared to believe that every child has an equal right to an education.
What matters is if you are brave, and you are very, very brave, Malala.
I know your father is backstage, and he's very proud of you, but would he be mad if I adopted you?
Despite her popularity, Malala continues to speak truth to power. When President Barack Obama invited her to the White House, she expressed concern about the innocent victims killed by American drone attacks and asked him to refocus on education.
One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world.
For This Week, I'm Bob Woodruff, ABC News, New York.
Malala just announced her new goal. She wants to be Prime Minister of Pakistan, and she's already written a memoir called I Am Malala. For more on Malala's mission, check out malalafund.org.